Okay, so thank you so much for joining in this live session. My name is Anuj Gupta from Tag Investments. Election time is over, so just a quick note about the verdict. So it's not a surprise anymore, but obviously the result was a big surprise for all, and that is what we saw on the Lal streets on Monday till until Saturday. The markets were quite sober, not discounting anything much, but as soon as Saturday started and there was almost like exit poll predictions that is bar 400 ke par, so we saw a big gap up opening on Monday morning, and then on Tuesday, as soon as the results counting started, and we got that sense that BJP is not coming up with a majority, so we saw a sharp free fall on Tuesday. And as we speak today, we record this video on Wednesday, so there was some upside. So one thing is very clear, that there is no sense predicting the markets, because nobody has been able to predict the market very well in the history and probably in the future as well. So probably अब की बार क्या करें, that theory and that practice is out, that अब की बार 400 के बार पार, but we as investors, what are we supposed to be doing अब की बार? अगर 400 के पार नहीं हुआ, अब की बार 300 के पार भी नहीं हुआ, अब की बार मेजोरिटी के साथ भी नहीं आई BJP government. So what are we supposed to be doing as investors? So we're going to put some highlights today for you. So one, results are out, clear that it's Milijuli Sarkar, coalition government. Positives is that our democracy is strong. ये प्रूव हो चुका है कि जनता ही सब कुछ होती है. We should not take things for granted. So all those things are good. We have a strong opposition. So that is what a democratic country is all about, कि सबके सही होने चाहिए. So that is come back into existence now. As far as those things that without majority, because as far as the Modi government is concerned, or Modi style is concerned, whether when he was the chief minister or when he was the prime minister, आंकड़े ये कहते हैं, statistics ये कहती हैं कि probably whenever he's been the prime minister or chief minister, he's always worked as a majority. He's wanting to do things at his own, you can say, pace, because he's always had the majority. This time it will be the first tenure where he will come into existence, into power, which is the third time. So obviously he's creating history, but this time it's going to be with a coalition government party. So those skeptics are always there, that whether Modi will be able to work well with those coalition government or not, because that is that is what he's not used to. So that is one thing which you can see the markets taking a toll, upside, downside. That time will tell. As far as the market cycles are concerned, the rotation sectors, stocks are concerned, so for sure there will be sector rotation, there will be stock rotations for sure. There's also a book by Howard Marks. Somebody who's fond of reading books can actually take a note of that, Mastering the Market Cycle. So that shows how political cycles, how sector cycles, how interest cycles, how business cycles, risk cycles actually play a role in the economics. Now, one thing is very clear: in yesterday, day before, and today's thing, we saw a good run up in the consumer stock. So, consumer spending, domestic spending is going to be the theme going forward. It seems, again, no predictions here, but that is what the market data suggests. So, as far as the government is also concerned, they've they've got that, you can say, clarity in their head, that they have to work at ground level. They have to do janta ki seva and not only the amir ki seva. So that is what they will be working on. Maybe the lower middle class, the rural, the middle class economy, and the themes should be working well going forward. As far as prediction is concerned as to what we are supposed to be doing, so probably next 3 5 7 days, there is no, as I said, it's very clear from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday market, there's no sense predicting. On Monday people were expecting the markets to go down, it went up. On Tuesday the predictions were that the markets will actually go up, it went down. Wednesday the expectations of the markets will go down, it went up. So again, in the next 3 5 7 days, what's going to happen, let's not predict, because it's not worth it. Probably in the next 3 5 7 years, what's going to happen, that is what we are supposed to be talking. As far as politics versus economics is concerned, it's also clear in the long term. We've seen that whenever we see Political events such as this one, obviously it was a big event. It's called Mahotsav in India. सबसे बड़ा event कहलाया जाता है as far as you can say India is concerned, and also it is linked with economy, but only for those few days, maybe few months. So 3 4 5 days की बात रहती है. Volatility 3 5 7 दिन में थोड़ी सी die down हो जाती है, and 3 5 7 दिन 7 महीने के बाद तो कोई पूछता भी नहीं है. So themes like going forward, themes like railways, PSUs, uh, power, defense, they will also play a major role in the next 3 5 7 years. But in the next 3 5 7 months, they might you can say settle with the froth. They might go sideways. There might be a time correction. So all those things are something which one can expect going forward. What is the problem today with investors is that they're wanting quick returns. The newspapers, the YouTubers, the social medias are full of articles in which अगले 6 महीने में 500% return, अगले 1 महीने में 50% के returns. I keep on getting these pop-ups in which they says few sectors, few stocks to invest in, where in the next 30 days, in the next 1 month, in the next 3 months, you can make 40%, 50%, 60% returns. And there are few articles which says that अगर 6 महीने मतलब पिछले 6 महीने में 500 स्टॉक्स 500% के परसेंट से रिटर्न्स बढ़े हैं. सो दैट बेसिकली excites the investors, traders, and they tend to chase returns in the short term without thinking their long term commitments and long term goals. So these are few of the things which one should be taking into consideration as far as going forward planning is concerned. One good thing is that the global markets are on a rise. As far as India is concerned, we saw that at least for this particular year, the Indian markets have not been so high as compared to the global market. So comparatively, we are high. We are at an average. We are not going very very high. So the P ratios are hovering around 2021. So that's fine. We are at a 5 year. We are lesser than the 5 year average. The earnings per share of the Nifty companies have crossed 1,000. It is expected to cross 1,200, 1,300. So which means that the markets are well poised to reach 25,000, 26,000 in the next 1 2 3 years. So we are presently, as we speak, hovering around 22 to 23,000 mark as far as Nifty is concerned. The good part with the markets, yes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what has happened is the FIs have been sellers, but the DIs have been buyers, which means the foreign institutional investors versus the domestic institutional investors, and domestic investors, retail investors have been pouring money heavily, especially via the SIP route. So 20,000 crores plus is the SIP amount which comes in on a monthly basis. So if you look at the charts, if you look at the statistics, so FIs have been constant sellers while domestic investors have been constant buyers. That is what is saving the markets. Yes, going forward, if this equation changes, then the markets can be in doldrums, but it doesn't seem so, because we've seen retail investors coming in big volumes, and they have understood the power of India, the power of investing, and the power of long term investing as well. So I don't think the SIP trend should die down with this verdict of election results, which is there to continue. Yes, in the short term, 3 5 7 months, one, it can just take us just take a break as far as the run up which we saw in the financial year 23-24 is concerned. Beautiful run up. So that might not be the case in the coming 3 4 5 6 months. So expectations should be a little lower going forward. As I told you that probably somebody who's here for next 5 months versus 5 years, so one needs to be very very careful in terms of looking at things from a 5 year angle and not from a 5 month angle. So somebody who's looking at this or viewing this video from a 5 month angle, maybe this may not be of very big use to you. Somebody who's looking at a 5 year angle, then let me tell you, India growth story is intact. The PSU growth story is intact, the defense story is intact, the railway story is intact, the power sector is intact, the infra story is intact, the consumer spending is intact, the middle class, rural, everything is intact, and we are here to grow in the next 5 years. The markets should be doubling in 5 years, if not 5, then 6 years, but the growth is there and it is unstoppable. So basically, the theme of today's video is अब की बार क्या करें. All this is fine. That was a good you can say commentary, but अब की बार क्या करें, हमें करना क्या है. So simply, if you miss the rally in the financial year 23-24 or in the earlier parts, from like I met with an investor almost having a portfolio of say approximately 14 to 15 cr, and believe me not, in the last 3 to 5 years that investor has 12 cr in debt only, which is fixed income. Why? Because the wealth managers who was handling their wealth said that okay fine, बड़ा पोर्टफोलियो है, 14-15 करोड़ का पोर्टफोलियो है, धीरे 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 पैसा लगाएंगे और सिर्फ 2 से 3 करोड़ रुपए ही पिछले 3 से 4 सालों में उनके इन्वेस्टर्स के लगा सके. सो दैट इज वन पार्ट ऑफ इट. बट इन केस इफ somebody, just to put it into perspective, somebody is looking to invest lump sum, somebody who has lump sum, just for example I'm quoting 1 crore, it can be 10 lakhs, it can be 10 cr, it can be 1 lakh, depending on the capacity of the particular investor. So somebody who has 1 crore probably go with the STP route, that's the systematic transfer plan, in the next 6 months and stay invested for next 6 years, which means कि 1 करोड़ रुपए हैं तो 15 लाख करके अगले 6 महीने में आप एक्सपोज हो जाओ मार्केट्स के प्रति. देयर कैन बी वेज एंड मेथोडोलॉजीज, चाहे म्यूचुअल फंड्स के थ्रू, ETFs के थ्रू, एक्सचेंज ट्रेडेड फंड्स के थ्रू, या स्टॉक्स baskets के through, not particular stock but stock baskets. Many investors do that you can say idiotic move where they are investing in a particular theme or a particular stock because basis on some news or basis on some YouTuber. So please do not do that. Invest broadly in some multi cap, flexi cap themes, maybe through the mutual fund route, maybe through the PMS route. If the ticket size, if your saving ticket size is more than 50 lakhs, if it is more than 1 crore, you can also go through the alternate investment fund routes, and just leave it up to the fund managers to decide where, which sector, how much to buy, what asset allocation to do. But that is what you can do in the staggered manner if you have lump sum money. SIP has always been the best theme, so time to actually start a SIP or do a top up SIP. This has to be continued for next 5 to 6 years and more, or depending on your goals. If it is 15-20 years, then just keep on topping up for the next 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 years, and do not stop your SIPs. You'll have to continue with it. So that was on the SIP front. Somebody who says no, मेरे को तो आज ही लमसम डालना है, पूरा पैसा डालना है. So that is what you have to decide कि आपको क्या चाहिए, what is it that you want. So you need to decide what you want. If you want safety, अगर आपको safety चाहिए और कम रिटर्न चलता है, तो देर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड एज डेट फंड्स. आप डेट फंड्स में पैसा डालो, अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 6-8 एंड इवन अप टू 10% रिटर्न्स मिल जाता है यदि इंटरेस्ट रेट की साइकिल नीचे जाती है. इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड बाय September 2024 as we speak that the interest rate cycle should go down, and debt funds tend to actually be inversely proportional to the interest rate cycle. So bond markets actually perform better, the bond rates go up. So debt funds can actually give you 8 to 10% even then, and in the normal scenario 7-8% is something which is normal, which debt funds are giving today. Second, if you feel no, 6-7-8% is not good, I want something better, then there is something called as equity savings category within the mutual fund domain. Don't mind my handwriting, it's more of a free flowing thing which I'm doing presently. So equity savings category is where say anything between 25 to 45%, even it can go up to 65% depending on which fund houses are you going with, which fund schemes are you going with. So this is the exposure in equity and rest is in debt, and that is why we say that advisor, a mentor or a consultant is very very important for a aam admi or for a aam investor, for a normal investor who does not have the skills or time or knowledge to actually drill down to these nuances of choosing a particular scheme. So that is on the equity savings fronts. Now if you want a little more, then you can go with something called as balance advantage fund, where the fund managers have the flexibility to actually go 100% on equity or 0% on equity, or hover between 50, 60, 70% equity versus debt, depending on the market valuations and the market cycles, how they feel about it. The next, if you want even further, then there is something called as large cap category. As I told you, large caps are still from a 5-year angle point of view, they are still undervalued, so one can go with large cap categories. Again, all this I'm not telling you from a 5 month perspective, I'm talking about from a 5 year perspective. If you're here for a 5 month perspective, then probably this video may not be worth it. If you're looking at it from a 5 year perspective, then probably, mark my words, all these are going to be beneficial categories for you. It is just that you should be focusing on what is it that you want. So that was little catch up on the elections verdict and ab ki baar kya kare. In case if you're looking for a one-to-one session with us, then probably in the description box of from wherever you're watching this video, we will be giving a link where if you click, a calendar opens from Monday to Saturday 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can actually book a call with us and our wealth experts, and we'll be happy to discuss on a one-to-one basis as to what you are supposed to be doing, what is your current portfolio, आप क्या चाह रहे हो, आपकी आज की तारीख में कितना कैश है, कितनी लिक्विडिटी है, क्या गोल्स हैं, शॉर्ट टर्म, मिड टर्म, लॉन्ग टर्म गोल्स क्या हैं, कितने लार्ज कैप्स हैं, कितने मिड कैप्स हैं, कितने स्मॉल कैप्स हैं, कितने म्यूचुअल फंड्स हैं, कितने स्टॉक्स हैं, कहाँ पे कितना एलोकेशन है, कितना होना चाहिए. सो फर्स्ट रिव्यू, देन रीबैलेंस एंड प्रॉब्ली रीस्ट्रक्चर योर पोर्टफोलियो. सो दैट इज RRR. अब की बार क्या करें? सो इट्स इज सपोज टू बी RRR. रिव्यू करो, रीस्ट्रक्चर, रीबैलेंस करो. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड टू प्रॉब्ली connect and reconnect. As far as us is concerned, the details are given in the screen also. It's a marquee which is going on. Otherwise, in the description box or from wherever you're watching this video, go ahead, click the link. Details are already given. We wish you all the best. I'm sure 2024 is going to be a wonderful year, along with 2025, 26, 27, 28, 29, 23. We will keep seeing each other more often. Till then, thank you so much. Bye bye. Thanks.